The highly anticipated Tesla event where Elon Musk and company are going to reveal their Robotaxi for the first time is happening tomorrow, 1010 XX in Roman numerals. They're calling the event We Robot, which is interesting and has led to speculation that Tesla's humanoid robot could also be part of the agenda tomorrow. Of course, Tesla is not actually rolling out a fully functional fleet of robotaxis or a bunch of Optimus bots tomorrow, as far as we know anyway. But we are expecting to see the design, probably a prototype of the Robotaxi driving on the Warner Brothers back lot on the closed roads there. We should hear more about the plans and business model for the rollout, and I'd expect a vague date sometime in the future, probably next year, that everything is going to be real. Keep in mind that Elon has been saying that we're a year away from full self-driving for about 8 years now, so factor that into whatever they say tomorrow. But there are a few other rumors floating around, exciting rumors that, if true, could change everything for Tesla. Today on Dumb Money, we're going to tell you which ones we're most interested in, the likelihood of them being real, and what we think it could all mean for Tesla's stock.
This is Dumb Money Live.
Hey there, Dave here along with Chris and Jordan. We are Dumb Money. Welcome to Dumb Money Live. One of my favorite topics today, Tesla. Make sure you all let the algorithms know that we're doing this today by smacking that like button. Chris, Jordan, Elon repeatedly has said that they are not a car company, that they are an AI robotics company. He says that that is the only way to value them. And they're calling the Robotaxi event We Robot, the take on the iRobot book from the 50s and the movie from the 90s. But before we even get into what we're expecting as far as like a prototype of the Robotaxi vehicle, I do want to start with the robot, the humanoid, and what you think, if anything, we're going to see tomorrow from Tesla.
There are about a dozen rumors. I think we should talk through the rumors and really discuss which ones are most credible and the one or two that would be absolutely game-changing for Tesla if they actually happen tomorrow. Dave, I think, first of all, there are rumors that we won't even see the Robotaxi. Did you hear that one? That it's just going to be a visual, some kind of pre-recorded visual of the Robotaxi. I think
like a rendering,
rumor, if that's true, I think that rumor could be devastating for Tesla after this delayed event. I think that would actually be a game changer in a very negative way.
Yeah, because originally this event was supposed to be on 8/8, and they pushed it to 10/10. And even the 8/8 date that they that Elon tweeted out, I think was he was pushed into a corner, wanting everyone wanting to know when he was going to do something. And so he threw out a date months in the future, thinking they'd have something to show. They pushed it back 2 months. So I don't know what to really expect, but if we don't see a prototype, I'm with you. I think it's not going to be functional. It'll be a driving vehicle, kind of like when they did Cybertruck. It was a functional vehicle, but then it was a long time until we saw a production ready version of that.
Okay, so that said, assuming that we actually do see a drivable version of the Robotaxi, I think obviously that's the expectation tomorrow. That would be the over under is, do we actually see people driving it or being driven in it, and to what degree, to what level of self-driving would that be demonstrated on the lot tomorrow, which we know
is this in a parking lot or is this in
they're doing
lot. It's
the studio back lot at Warner Brothers. So they have the fake cities there, and they can pre-train the vehicles on those fake roads. So it's a kind of controlled environment. They're doing it at night because those back lots look terrible in the day unless they're fully dressed. So they're doing it at night. I think there's 100% chance we're going to see a driving vehicle tomorrow.
Okay, so
I think it's pretty high.
100%.
I think it'd be insane for them to show up without a driving vehicle tomorrow.
We do know that they were doing extensive data collection on the lot in late August, like that last 2 weeks or last week and a half of August. They were doing extensive data collection on the lot. I agree.
In addition to a couple other locations, like one in San Francisco, they've been kind of pre-training. In addition to saying that these vehicles learn on their own, there's nobody driving a Tesla around the Warner Brothers backlot, so they do have to train the vehicles.
But Dave, does that mean that they're going to conduct this live, or would it be a pre-taped thing that they did a couple nights ago or something, right? Like,
I think
that's
that
that's the question.
they're going to do the demo live.
For it to be
Okay.
on location like that, I think that that's the expectation. I don't
Okay.
think it makes any sense. I think for it to be on location, they have to. It doesn't make any sense to go on location, have the event at a location that's meant for driving, and then show a video. I don't see that would work.
They'll have some cool video stuff to show in addition to
Sure.
the live demo, and I think the live demo could be a small portion of the event. And I do want to talk about Tesla's production value at events.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a disaster because everything they do is a disaster. It's they need to hire Apple's team to put together an event, but we're gonna see Elon with a mic, rambling, probably some neat laser lights outside to make the car look cool. But the substance is going to be lacking.
Agreed. And I'm trying to figure out what could they do. Let's talk about there are other rumors. Let's just talk through them. First of all, form factor of the car. A lot of speculation. You've seen a lot of imagery. What do you think on the form factor?
And I think that the options there are it's either going to be similar to a Model 3 and likely or could possibly be what is being dubbed the Model 1 or the Model A, or is it going to be the toaster box display where you see the small wheels and the square shape with doors that open? I think for Tesla, it's probably going to look more like a Model 3 than a toaster.
Okay, I'm just going to come out and say what I think would be one of the game-changing rumors, although it's not game-changing for Tesla. It's game-changing for a totally different company. If Tesla comes out tomorrow and announces the Robotaxi and actually unveils what the Robotaxi platform economics would look like, and if those economics appear to democratize ride sharing and offer a much lower rate on ride sharing than currently exists today with Uber Lyft, I think that is a game-changing announcement to the negative for Uber and Lyft. I'm considering buying some puts. I haven't bought them yet on Uber Lyft just for that scenario. What do you think is the likelihood that they actually release economics tomorrow of the ride-sharing platform that they're going to come out with at some point in the future? He'll probably say it's a year from now, even though it could be 3 years from now.
My thoughts on that? I think that he is definitely going to be talking about the economics. I think that that's the one thing that he can talk about without having to show anything. He doesn't have to prove anything. He can just, and he's already talked about it. He's talked about it on earnings calls. He talks about it in interviews. He has a very specific vision for how the Robotaxi rollout will work economically. And I think that they will put together some slides on that and pretty specifically show what they think will happen. Now, whether that's what actually happens a year from now or not, will be to be seen. But I think that he will have a plan. He will show unit economics, and I think he'll also show the economics back to the actual all-in cost of the vehicle cost, the maintenance cost, the storage, the support, all of that.
Do you agree that if that happens and it appears to be a democratization of ride sharing, that it would be horrible for Uber and Lyft stock the rest of this week?
I think it likely will be. I think there's a chance that Uber could partner with Tesla. I think it's kind of unlikely because Elon likes to do his own thing and he likes to have his own network. But you know how Uber has partnered with GM's Cruise?
Waymo as well. They've partnered. I think they partnered with Waymo as well.
Did they?
Yeah, and
so Waymo is Google, Cruise is GM, and Amazon, are they still doing their Zoox project?
I don't even know.
They're
I
definitely
think
not like on the road yet. The other two are on the road, and I think that Tesla, the thing that I need to see is unsupervised self-driving, because you can't have a robotaxi without truly driverless, no attention needed. You can't have a robotaxi where you have to pay attention and drive yourself. Although maybe
there's
you
not
could.
there's nothing preventing Uber from partnering with Tesla because it doesn't need to be exclusive. I think in the
Yeah.
short term, I believe that Uber would see that as a net positive for their stock. So there's definitely a risk here that Uber could move either way based on one, the economics that are announced, if he chooses to kind of go in deep on economics of his ride sharing program, or if he announces a partnership with Uber. I think he might see that as a positive for Tesla as well. Uber sees that as a positive, so that's a possibility.
Yeah.
More
Well,
game
here's
changing for Uber than Tesla, though, if he were to announce that for sure. Because I think a lot of people are under the assumption that Elon is going to create the Uber killer and that he's going to take the entire market. I know there's some debate even in our own chat right now that Tesla, being a single brand ride sharing program, could never compete with an Uber. But you got to remember the reason why Uber has such a large network is because they are leveraging cars of hundreds of thousands, millions of drivers
yeah.
existing. Where going forward with a robo-taxi model, you have to rebuild your fleet from the ground up. So I don't see why it wouldn't be very easy to just rebuild that fleet with just Teslas, especially if Tesla was the most economical option. Even if
Hmm.
you allowed people, imagine this.
Yeah,
Imagine if you
Uber
allowed
can keep allowing anyone to put their car in the network, and if they also allowed Tesla owners to put their cars in the self-driving network, I mean, I can see it working. Interesting from the comments, Eric says Tesla doesn't need Uber. The X app is already in 100 million Americans' hands, the best app to integrate autonomous rides with. I mean, there's
that's
another
true.
rumor. Heard it here first.
That's true. I could see so many people if Elon allows people to actually finance um robotaxis and actually you could have your own robotaxi. I could see that network going from 0 to millions instantaneously. If I was Elon, I would seriously consider that because it really is a way to get his investors pumped that
Yeah.
they could actually be part of this whole thing, right? Like
Well,
it's
I think
almost
that
like a
that is
share
a
co-op.
very strong likelihood that we will hear about the financing options for buying your own taxi, because I think it was just yesterday Tesla uh, came out with a promotional financing incentive, 0% interest for 72 months with the purchase. When you buy full self-driving, you can get 0% interest, and so it brings your like all-in cost, like with a very low down payment too. So it's
Right.
like
Is this just a way? Is this just another way to sell full self-driving in the promise of having this
a
autonomous
high margin
robotaxi
full
in your garage?
self-driving add-on required to get 0%
Yeah.
financing that gets
Yeah.
you into a vehicle for a low monthly cost and low upfront cost.
And it's just a promise that this will come out in FSD, right?
Yeah.
And then there's no new car. There's no robotaxi. It's just
Oh,
the
there's going to be
software.
a new car. There's going to be something new, but
Is
we
there?
also can think of the 5 million existing Teslas as potential robotaxi, uh, network participants.
Since we have rumors of a possible Uber partnership, and we also have rumors of an economic model that would be detrimental to existing ride-sharing programs, is Lyft the obvious choice to buy puts on and to short going into this? Because kind of like in either of those scenarios, is Lyft
Yeah.
the loser,
I think
right?
Lyft
I
is the
mean,
loser, unless Lyft. I don't know. Do you know anyone at Lyft Biz Dev? Because
I,
I've not heard anything about Lyft being in these conversations, but they might be.
I
It
could
feels like
see.
Lyft is just the robotaxi loser, or just the ride share loser in general right now.
Yeah, I feel like if I was, and by the way, I have not
But
made
why?
any of these
But they,
trades
they
yet.
they have a platform. Anyone can get on it. your Uber driver is also a Lyft driver 100% of the time. You know that, right? So
I know.
why not?
I
Why
know.
not? Even without a partnership, these robotaxis might get in the network.
I assume so. I just think
And can we, wait, before I've said robotaxi so many times, can we talk about the branding for this? Because I've seen a rumor that instead of robotaxi, which is generic to all of the car makers, Cybercab might be a brand that is released tomorrow.
that would be fine. I think they're both kind of cool and memorable. I think they're both great, but I don't think either of those two makes a difference from an investor standpoint, right?
No, definitely
I
not.
it He has to sell the dream again tomorrow. On one hand, I have zero faith in Elon when it comes to events like this. On the other hand, I feel like he is now financially motivated to pump and to sell. And he's had so long to prepare for this. He's had an additional, 2 months to prepare for this event. Even though I think he'll probably fail.
He
it-
he doesn't have
it-
time to do preparation. I just hope he has a good team, a good production team that made this show good
it-
and gave
no,
him a teleprompter. Because
no,
him going off the top of his head, he has a SpaceX launch in 2 days, and he was just at Trump's rally, last week. I mean, he has too much going on to focus on this as his presentation skills, and his autism makes it hard for him to do a presentation anyway. So it's like I want him to do his best, and I want him to be exciting, but I just know that there's going to be I'm going to be cringing the whole time.
I feel like Tesla would have had a huge pump going into this event if not for him getting sidetracked the last 2 weeks on politics. I mean, he's gone so deep into politics the last couple of weeks that he just seems really scattered right now. He doesn't seem focused on Tesla at
You can
all.
say that. I think you could actually make that exact same claim any week over the past 7 years. Like it's not like right now you have something to point at, but you have had something to point at every week for the last, as long as I can remember us talking about Tesla. We've always been like, yeah, but he's scattered right now, but somehow he's managing to pull it all together.
Okay, but this is bigger. I've never seen him go this deep into politics. This is actually beyond anything I ever
Yes,
would have imagined.
he's picked up one new thing. He's picked up politics to add to his like infinite rotating calendar of things that he has to keep track of.
Okay, so can we talk about first of all, first game-changing thing would be democratizing economics that could be detrimental to traditional ride sharing, which I think is a situation that would be really bad for Lyft. I'll probably buy some puts on Lyft. By the way, I'll remind everyone, we're not financial advisors. We're kind of crazy speculative investors. Our risk tolerance is different than yours, so please don't mirror any of the stuff. These are just ideas for you guys to
And with our risk
uphold.
tolerance, I actually think that both Lyft and Uber have risk going into this, because
But Uber has a
at tomorrow's
positive.
event, unless he announces a partnership, at tomorrow's event, it's all about his network. It's all about his stuff. And even if a partnership comes down the line and it actually isn't long-term detrimental, I think the perception might be. I think that this could be a sell the news on Tesla. I think it could be bad for Uber. I think it could be bad for Lyft.
Just
Okay,
short everybody.
I'm not going to short everybody. I'm super long in Tesla, and I'm not even hedging it because I am in them for the long-term vision and dream. And I believe that the robotics and AI of Tesla will be the thing that wins ultimately. So I'm not going to look at my portfolio tomorrow or the next day. It's an evening event, so the next day. Should we live stream, by the way? Should we
I don't know that I can. Maybe no. I just need to. I just want to watch it without having to even think about doing two things at once. But Dave, I do want to talk about this McDonald's thing. So this is a rumor that was really strong a couple weeks ago, a week ago. This whole concept of McDonald's has been promoting their own 10/10 event, which seemed too random, right? Too random. One, were they trolling Tesla with their own 10/10 thing because they knew it would bring more attention? By the way, it worked. It definitely worked. The whole world was looking at McDonald's. But or does their 10/10 event have nothing to do with Tesla because they've come out since then and have disclosed that it's the chicken Big Mac, right? It's a chicken Big Mac is what they're coming out with, I guess. on
Yeah, I was trying to
1010.
put it up on the screen, and I might have frozen at the time.
And
They
there's
they they
also
basically tweeted a picture of a bag, and if you zoom in, you can read that it said, and I can't even do it. My computer's going crazy right now. But it basically said it's not a Big Mac. This is not your Big Mac. So my
yeah,
guess is going to be a chicken Big Mac.
and they have their own kind of Kai Sinat, I guess, collab. That's part of that if you read into the imagery. So they have their own thing going on 1010.
But it got
But
Elon's attention, and he commented on it, and that makes it a real rumor. So Chris, tell me the rumor that you went down the rabbit hole based on the McDonald's claim.
well, okay, so there's a few. And let's just say also Elon, I guess, evidently followed the McDonald's
Yes.
marketing director on Twitter or something, right? So there's a few rumors. Rumor number one with McDonald's is that they would have some sort of robo-taxi delivery partnership with McDonald's. That seems like a possibility. Rumor number two that doesn't excite me that much is that they would have some sort of Tesla charging partnership at McDonald's. That seems kind of interesting, but not a needle mover for sure for
No.
Tesla. Rumor number three, this one.
This one
This would
this one is the
change
crazy one.
everything,
And
okay?
this one would change everything.
This definitely, if this rumor were actually true tomorrow or at any point in the future, this would be such a game changer. It would turn the world upside down. Tesla Optimus bots working at McDonald's in some capacity, whether it's as complex as actually working in the food line flipping burgers, I don't think that's it, or something as simple as bringing the to-go orders to the Tesla robotaxis that would be part of the partnership. Now, if he were able to integrate Optimus into a partnership with McDonald's that includes robotaxis, game over. Tesla might double on that news, okay? So that's the rumor that I don't think is true. But in the event that it is true, that is the rumor that changes
Well,
everything.
and was it
Not
the
just
specific rumor
Tesla.
that McDonald's that they were going to announce that McDonald's has pre-ordered 100,000 Tesla bots, the Optimus bots, to work at McDonald's stores?
That's it. And by the way, I'm putting that out there into the world because I don't think that's going to happen on 1010. But if that ever were to happen, first of all, I do think it's inevitable. I think it's happening. We can debate when we can
Yeah.
debate whether it's Tesla's Optimus or some other humanoid, but I could tell you from my personal conversations that I am already having with other humanoid companies that sort of partnership is definitely in the future for humanoid companies generally. I'm sure they'll be in the future for Optimus, but man, it would show the validation from a major third-party company that
Yeah.
this is happening. I don't think it's going to happen now because McDonald's employees would start a revolt. We don't need that right now. McDonald's doesn't need that right now. Jordan, you're shaking your head. You agree with me, right? There's zero
It's
chance. Zero.
impossible that's going to happen right now. I don't think the technology's there, first of all, but yes, they're just the populist type environment we're in right now. I don't think would lend well to something like that happening.
Oh, okay, but Jordan, how about just a robo-taxi partnership with McDonald's? Like,
I
do you
think
think
so. Yeah, something like that's fine. I think with any of these Optimus robots, they're gonna have like, look, I think we've got a little bit of insight here, and I don't want to spill any beans, but I feel like where you're gonna see these things first is in places that aren't customer facing, and so because then you don't get the backlash as much, and I think you've got to handle it that way, or you're gonna have a big political backlash. And I
correct
think
what
I think I think Tesla knows it. I think all these startups know it, and so I don't think they would push to the front lines immediately.
So maybe the person taking the order isn't an Optimus, but you could have an Optimus, dumping fries.
No,
into
because
the
I mean,
fryer.
like I said, that would be on the Today Show. It would be on GMA, and people would be freaking out.
Correct. What Jordan's referring to, and I'll say it without saying anything specific, is that we do have insight into the humanoid sector, and I can say that the degree of interest from most of what feels like most of the world's largest companies is astronomical. This is behind the scenes. There are things happening right now, incredible demand that has nothing to do with displacing human employees
Yeah.
and is all about trying to get additional human-like labor to just continue the growth rates of most of the world's largest companies that employ physical
Yeah,
labor.
continued growth rates. I think, perfect opportunities are places that are dangerous, that humans either don't want to be, or it's, prohibitive for people to be. I think those are kind of the first places that you would think of.
Well, Jordan, also, a lot of these companies are having major issues with physical labor, but also
Yeah.
they can't plan, right? So like they can't plan expansion with physical labor unknowns. If you have an unknown of whether you can even hire another 30,000 or
Yeah.
100,000 people to do this physical labor job, how long it would take to train them because they're just not available. Even if you want to ultimately hire those people, knowing that you can with humanoids guaranteed is a complete game changer for almost every major manufacturer, logistics company, warehousing company on earth. And behind the scenes, we are seeing so much demand, legitimate demand, companies that are ready to sign POs for these things. And I know that Elon, this is not through Tesla, but I know that Elon and Optimus are seeing the same exact demand that all the private humanoid companies are seeing. So this is a big deal. It's coming. I don't think it's coming tomorrow. I don't think we'll see that validation. But
Yeah.
Jordan, wouldn't you say that even if Tesla were to announce just a single robotaxi partnership tomorrow with someone like McDonald's, that alone is a game changer for Tesla for sure, I think. And that's news that I would want to be heavier, not lighter in Tesla.
Yeah, I guess. I just don't see logistically how they would handle that.
I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think we're at a place where a McDonald's could even
Well,
have.
they couldn't count on it because
Yeah,
it doesn't exist, and
yeah.
Yeah,
it
but it
just
could.
doesn't make any sense.
But
I
but
think
do you think? Do you
what's
think?
most likely is, some sort of software update that you could buy, or you could like if you already have FSD, or maybe this is just a ploy to get more FSD or purchases, with the promise of being able to turn your car into a robotaxi. I literally think that that's all it is.
I agree. I would place my bet on a disappointment tomorrow. I hate saying that. I hate saying
I
that because
don't
I
think
don't
that would
want
be a
it.
disappointment, Chris. I think that if for some reason they're able to provide some reasonable assurance that their software is within striking distance of what they've been promising, I I think that's as I think Tesla investors are used to disappointment with the Robotaxi FSD debacle, and that if they were able to firm up that confidence, I think it would be good.
Okay, but here's the psychology of traders in 2024. We kind of half expect a disappointment. We'll probably get the disappointment. And then traders, because it's a disappointment, are going to just make an assumption that Tesla stock is going to sell off. That will actually cause people to sell it off and short it. So it's a cycle that you kind of can't get out of in the short term. And maybe it corrects itself a few days later.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be ultra long going. I would rather wait to be ultra long in Tesla. And if they announce something absolutely spectacular, I'm willing to get in Tesla 15% higher the next day. and just go all in 15% higher, because assume it's going to be 15% move if they do, maybe a 20% move if something shocking like that gets announced. I'm willing to risk losing out on that.
I'm with you. I kind of see this being, like I said, this is a sell the news kind of event, most likely, because whatever they say, unless it is just so mind-blowing, whatever they say is going to be just like, oh yeah, that's kind of what we were expecting, and now that the news is out, we're selling.
I'm in this place, and I've discussed this so many times, where I want to be about 15 to 20 times heavier in Tesla than I am currently, but I don't want to allocate that much of my capital, because it would probably be all of my capital, into just Tesla stock, because it's just non-performing money, and it has been for years. I don't want to do that because there are other investments that are performing exceptionally well for me right now. So what I end up doing is, before any kind of high beta event like this, I have to go in and buy Tesla calls just in case this is the one that pumps Tesla, because I don't want to miss out on that move. And more often than not, I've lost money on those trades. And I'm not going to, I do have Tesla calls right now, but my Tesla calls were going into the event hype. And the strategy was always to exit those Tesla calls before the 10/10 event, right? So I wanted to own Tesla calls the week prior, exit them going into the event the same way, and we'll talk about hurricane trades in a minute, the same way we've talked about hurricane trades for years, which is you have to be early. You see these stocks like Generac and Home Depot, and in some cases Beacon Roofing, getting pumped like 2 to 3 days before the hurricane, and they generally sell off immediately after the hurricane. So I generally want to exit all of my hurricane trades immediately before the hurricane hits. That is usually the winning trade. It has been almost for every single hurricane the last 15 to 20 years that I've been doing this. So I'm trading this the same way, guys. I have Tesla calls. I plan on exiting most of the calls before the event. If Elon and Robotaxi and, if we see anything Optimus. By the way, there are rumors that Optimus might be just getting people's drinks at the event. That would be cool. There's rumors
even that
Optimus,
that would be amazing.
But what if Optimus is even in
Optimus bartender?
Robotaxi? What if Optimus is the passenger in the Robotaxi, right? That would be awesome, guys. Like anything with Optimus tomorrow. By the way, Elon knows that the entire future of Tesla is in Optimus. I hate to say it. Robotaxi's nice. It's nice. It's cool. It will be a big deal at some point. The degree to which Robotaxi is economically a complete and utter game changer for Tesla is still undecided. Okay, it's still undecided. By the time we actually get Robotaxi at scale, we don't know what the economics of ride sharing actually looks like. We don't know what the competition actually looks like. We don't know what the government regulation actually looks like. So the one thing that we have more confidence in, or I have more confidence in, is embodied AI, robots, humanoids, the displacement of physical labor globally over the next 25 years. That, I think, is the game changer for Tesla. So if Elon knows that, okay? I know that Elon knows that. You read between the lines. He's told us that multiple times the last few years. We just ignore it because you have to ignore 90% of stuff that comes out of Elon's mouth. But that part, I believe, is true. So I think Elon could potentially try to do something with Optimus at this event. I don't know what it is. Something to remind us how important Optimus is to Tesla. And if that something is meaningful, that could be the game changer at this event. It could have nothing to do with Robotaxi. It could have to do with us seeing Optimus in a way that wakes up Wall Street, finally, to Optimus. I don't think it's going to happen, but it might. It might. And that would be the game changer.
All right. Done. So that's your play. I'm long Tesla because I'm always long Tesla. Jordan, are you playing this at all?
No, I don't have any Tesla interest right now.
Okay. I have some Tesla. I'm selling my calls, I think. And I'm willing, if any of these scenarios that are ultra bullish play out during the event, I am mentally preparing myself that Tesla would open up 20% higher, and I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go all in on Tesla immediately that morning after, right? And I'm gonna, even though it's 20% higher, maybe even 25% higher, I'm just going to have to do it, and I'll live with that because I don't want to lose another $200,000 playing options and having this. Tesla's disappointing
every
me too many
time. Yeah,
times.
you're another $250,000 down the tubes every time you play options and lose.
Can't do it.
Yep, for sure.
That's all.
All right, we're Dumb Money. We will see you next week.